Gold may have stolen the spotlight in 2020, but silver bugs are still waiting for that push. So when will it come? Joining me today for the Outlook, Peter Hugg, Global Trading Director of Kitco Metals. Pete, good to see you again.
Nice to be here.
Want to talk to you about silver, which I remember last year at this time, many were expecting silver to outperform gold. But this year, the gold-silver ratio, as you know, still remained in the high 80s. So why is that?
Well, I mean, I think the concern in 2019 on silver was that there was going to be a significant slowdown in the economy coming. Everybody calling for a recession, and silver being an industrial metal basically didn't catch the wind that gold caught when it moved up $200 from the low in 2019. But again, a lot of trading in metals, whether it's gold or silver, is based on perception. And if the perception is that we're going to go into a significant slowdown, and one of the main usages of silver is industrial demand, and that's going to slow down, you can see the logic of why, traders weren't as engaged in silver as they were in the gold market.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the Silver Institute actually predicts that 2020 silver prices will rise due to a supply deficit, and that will actually see strong industrial demand.
Well, yeah, I'm not even looking for a deficit in silver. I mean, I think you can make a case for silver whether the economy moves higher or lower next year. So if you take the context that, everything is going to be, Rosiana, and the equity market is going to continue on its path, the economy is going to grow at 3%. China is now basically troughed, and the Europeans have troughed, and now on a growth path. Just from an industrial perspective, silver demand is obviously going to increase. So you would then be bullish silver on that context.
Right.
But let's assume the opposite happens, and we start to run into an issue with the equity markets tank. And the Fed has to be more aggressive on accommodation with their interest rate policy. I still believe silver relative gold is going to outperform next year, and I am bullish silver.
Wow. There's a real bullish call for silver, outperforming gold.
Absolutely. I mean, now, again, this is on a ratio basis. So if silver is at 90 to 1 now, I think silver at 80 to 1 next year. And now you have to rely on where gold is going to be, but it's certainly, I think, going to be higher. I think anything south of $17, if you don't have silver in your portfolio, is worth buying and just holding on to it.
Okay, let me ask you this. China and India, as we know, world's top consumers for gold jewelry, but we're seeing a rising middle class in China and younger people flocking to silver as a cheaper alternative. Are you hearing this from your sources, and could this also impact prices, Pete?
Well, we're seeing it. I mean, I've been running the operations for Kitco for 10 years now, and I've been responsible for the Hong Kong office for about. We have a Hong Kong office for about 6 years, and almost primarily in Hong Kong, our ratio of gold sales to silver were about 95 to 5%. And over the past year, we've had extreme demand in silver, especially 100-ounce silver bars. And now the ratio is almost 50-50. So we are starting to see in 2019, second half of 2019, significant investor interest in silver bars in Hong Kong, which I had not seen for the 5 or 6 years prior to that.
Wow. See, I love when you tell us the behind-the-scenes scoops like that, Pete. So interesting. All right. So silver could really have a breakout year in 2020. Amongst all the commodities, the metals, do you think it stands the best chance? Because I know you liked platinum, palladium.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, we were extremely bullish rhodium.
Yeah.
It's trading at 2,300. It's now north of $6,000. I think rhodium's still got some room to run. But, you're probably 80% into the run. Palladium was trading at 1,400. It's now trading almost at $2,000. I think palladium may also have a little bit more room to run, might break 2,000. But, it's almost trying to catch the train at the end of near the end of the station to me is something I'm not comfortable with. I mean, silver just sitting at $17 to me sounds absolutely cheap. And if you're bullish the metals and you think, whether you're going to get an economic recovery or the Fed is going to start going to zero interest rates, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong at silver south of $17. I mean, that would be the metal I would tell my kids to buy.
Do you think we're going to be in a zero interest rate environment? Is that where we're headed?
I don't know if we're going to go down to zero, but I think the Fed somewhere down the road is going to be much more accommodative. I do not believe in the global growth story. I mean, I don't think Europe is going to come out of its non-growth phase. Japan is struggling. China really depends on whether or not we get this U.S. trade deal sticks. And again, I've got some trepidation there. Overall, I think the economies are probably going to slow over the next 2 or 3 years, not grow. So I think the central banks are likely almost at their limit from an interest rate perspective. And if anything, I think they'll ease starting in 2020. Don't know when that's going to happen. I think the first quarter with the equity market still going higher might not be the time. But I think the Federal Reserve is probably going to be, their next move is going to be down, not up. Mm-hmm. And, I think there's more concerns out there than people realize.
All right, Peter Hug. Thank you so much for joining us for this outlook. I guess it's safe to assume your kids are getting silver in their stockings this year.
Believe it or not, they are.
There you go. On behalf of the Kitco Media team, we'd like to wish all our viewers a very happy and healthy 2020.
On vous souhaite un très joyeux Noël et passez de bonnes fêtes.
大家好，祝大家节日快乐，新年快乐。
С Новым годом и хороших праздников. Cheers!
नमस्ते दर्शकों, नव वर्ष की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। अगले साल मिलेंगे।
Всех с наступающими праздниками. Желаю счастья, любви, здоровья всем в новом году.
A todos os nossos clientes e amigos, Feliz Natal e ano novo cheio de saúde e amor. Obrigado.
Maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat at manigong na bagong taon.
祝大家节日快乐，新年好。
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wish you all the best in 2020.
Auguri a tutti i nostri cari spettatori, augurandovi un buon Natale e un felice anno nuovo.